I'm very blessed to be standing here in front of you today. And a lot of you are going, yeah, Paula, here we go. But I'll relieve your minds very quickly that we're not going to talk about special needs today. We're not going to talk about wheelchairs. We're not going to talk about safety vests. We're not even going to talk about driving a bus. That's what makes this such a privilege to be here in front of you today. I was privileged to hear this particular presentation given at conference this year, and I asked permission from the person who did it to rework it a little bit and make it for bus drivers. And as the presentation goes, you'll find that it touched me deeply. And I hope somewhere you find something that will touch you deeply from this presentation today. Our presentation today says, is there a star among us? Is there a star among this group of people here today? He's going to find my PowerPoint in just a second, okay? Is there a star among us here today? Yeah, we all hope there is. But any one of us who have stood around and looked into the night sky know that some stars shine brighter than others. And I want you, each one, to examine your star today and find out if your star is dimly lit. Is it shining brightly? Or is it flickering just a little bit? And the other thing about this presentation today, as it comes to you, is that I feel like this is a lesson for me. Because as I heard it once, as I've been inside of this presentation getting it ready for you guys, I continue to find myself. So as I remind myself about my star, I encourage you to listen and find your star. I found a piece of my star back in February. In February, it was a snow day, and none of you all were here except maybe 4 or 5 of us who were working bus crew. And as the day progressed, my goal at the end of the day was to make it to my car without my coworkers knowing how much pain I was in because I was sick as a dog. I went home and sat in my easy chair, and I'll make it a quick story. I went home and sat in my easy chair, and I was to go to my part-time job at Kohl's that night. And I told my husband, I set my timer for 20 minutes, and when I wake up, I'm either going to work because that's a commitment, or you're going to take me to the hospital. And when I woke up in 20 minutes, I couldn't get up, and he took me to the hospital. Emergency room, hours later, a handful of pills. Back home I went, still in pain. 24 hours later, I went back to my doctor, and without passing go, not even allowed to go home, she admitted me to the hospital, and there I laid for 4 days. And that's where I found my star. Now, while I was laying there, I lost 20 pounds, and I'll embrace that. But I ended up with an acute infected pocket of diverticulitis, which I had never been diagnosed with before. But for any one of us who's ever laid in the hospital for a few days, there's some soul searching that goes on during that time. And if you've ever sat in a hospital for a few days around someone that you love deeply, there's some soul searching that goes on. You might find the light in your star at home with your children. You might find the light in your star in a cemetery. These things happen, but where do you muster up what it takes to make you move forward? That's the light in your star. And we're going to see if we can help you find the light in your star today. We all want success, and we believe that success is impossible, and we criticize it. We believe that success is mystical, and we search for it desperately. We believe that success comes from luck, so we hope for it. And we believe that success is productivity, and we work really hard for it. We believe success comes from opportunity, so we wait around for it. And John Wooden, and if any of you don't know who John Wooden is, he was a UCLA basketball coach who won 10 championships in 12 years. He's got tons of books on positive thinking and on how to coach and how to reach people. And he says that when opportunity comes, it's too late to prepare. So if you're waiting for opportunity, it's too late for you to prepare for it. We believe success comes from leverage, so we try to power up for it, and we believe that success comes from connections, so we try to network into those connections. We believe that success comes from recognition, so we try to get it. We strive for it desperately. We believe that success is an event, and we try to schedule it in. But real sustainable change doesn't happen in a moment. It is a process. And what really matters is how we spend each and every day in an effort to improve. Or do we just all go through the motions at work and at home, and then all of a sudden we look up and we're old and we wonder where it all went, and we've missed the meaning somewhere. Today matters. We over-exaggerate yesterday. Yesterday ended last night, leave it alone. We overestimate tomorrow. It's not here yet, nothing you can do about it. We're going to talk about planning in a minute, but there's nothing you can do about tomorrow right this minute, because we are underestimating today. There is a Life Builder's Creed that I'm going to share with you, several screens long, so bear with me. Today is the most important day of my life. Yesterday, with its successes and its victories and its struggles and its failures, is gone forever. The past is the past. It's done. It's finished. I cannot relive it. I cannot go back and change it, but I will learn from it, and I will improve my today. I will turn 2 pages. Today, this moment is now. It is God's gift to me, and it is all that I have. Tomorrow, with its joys and its sorrows, its triumphs and its troubles, it isn't even here yet. Indeed, tomorrow may never come. Therefore, I will not worry about tomorrow. Today is what God has entrusted to me. It is all that I have, and I will do my best with it. I will demonstrate the best of me in today, my character, my giftedness, my abilities, to my family, my friends, my clients, and my humble associates. I will identify those things that are most important to do today, and those things I will do until they are done. And when this day is done, I will look back with satisfaction at that which I have accomplished, and then and only then will I be able to plan my tomorrow, looking to improve upon today with God's help. And then I shall lay my head on that pillow, and I shall sleep in peace, content. The secret to our success is determined by our daily agenda. I've got a long list of things here, and as I looked at all these, how would I like every day to possess possibilities in my life? Every day, if I could remain focused on the task at hand. Every day, I wish to enjoy good health. Can I exhibit stability, or am I flighty? Do I hold an advantage? Do I possess tenacity? Am I patient and enduring? Do I exercise options that are available to me? Or am I hard-headed in saying that's not the way we do it around here? I need to exercise options. Can I sense inner peace every day? Can I experience fulfillment? Can I feel like I am significant? A company I used to work for, everywhere you turned in that company, there was a big MMFI, and it said, make me feel important. And they strove every day to make me feel important, and it was my job every day to make my coworkers and the people who looked up to me feel important. And I want us to do that for each other. Make me feel important. Make me feel significant. Every day I would like to receive direction so I don't feel confused. And I would like very much to learn and to grow every day. Make the decision once and manage it daily. Benjamin Franklin once said, one today is worth 2 tomorrows, and what I am to be, I am now becoming. And my note right here says, and this is going to get you, all right? Paula really doesn't want to grow into a grouchy old woman, so she's working on that, okay? She's working on it. My friends, thank you so much.
Hell of a job.
The next thing we're going to look at is a daily dozen. And I'm going to run through these 12 points fairly quickly, and then we're going to go back and look at them. A daily dozen. Attitude. Choose and display your right attitudes daily. Martha Washington once said, the greater part of our happiness or our misery depends on our disposition, not on our circumstances. And right there comes to mind a couple of my special needs kids who are the happiest, coolest kids I've ever met. They don't have any idea that they're different, and they don't care. They're as cool as they can be. Their happiness or misery does not depend on the fact of their circumstances. It depends on their own disposition, and they choose to be happy. Priorities. Determine and act on important priorities daily. The basic principles of priorities, if you look it up, is number one, you must know the difference between what is urgent and what is important. And the second part of that is you got to do the important stuff first. It's not always what's the most urgent. The third one is your health. I shared some things with you at the beginning. But I also heard that there are 6 really great doctors in this town. And you can visit any one of them anytime you want, and they're not going to charge you a penny. Go see Dr. Sunshine, Dr. Water, Dr. Rest, Dr. Air, Dr. Exercise, and Dr. Diet. And they will take care of your health to an extent. But they're not going to charge you nothing. They're not going to charge you a penny. Family. Communicate with and care for your family every day. George Burns, who we all know from previous TV fame, says happiness is having a large, loving, caring, close-knit family that live in another city. But seriously, being related is no guarantee of love. No. Communicate and care with your family daily. And as I look at this group of people, I know there are just countless family situations represented here today. Identify, communicate, and care for your family every day. Thinking. Daily dozen. Thinking. Practice and develop good thinking daily. Henry Ford said, thinking is the hardest work that there is, which is probably the reason so few people engage in it. Find your place. Find a place where you can think. It is not wasted time. Commitment. Make and keep proper commitments every day. Because unless you make a commitment, everything else is hopes and promises. You don't have any plans unless you make a commitment. Finances. Make and properly manage your dollars every day. The first rule of making money, according to Warren Buffett, is don't lose it. Well, we all keep a pretty good hit on that wallet until we get a Starbucks addiction and go every day, or we go to the casino every day, or let's take it a little closer home to the checkbook when you pay late fees and high interest rates. Don't waste your money. Your faith. Deepen and live out your faith daily. For those of us in this room who call ourselves Christian, we have a faith in God. And that's where I put my faith. I'm not going to get into a religious discussion, but I'm going to tell you that every single one of you people in this room have faith. Because the definition of faith is that it consists in believing what reason cannot explain. So you got faith in something. I prefer to hold mine in my God. Put your faith in something. Deepen and live out that faith daily. Relationships. Initiate and invest in solid relationships daily. Because we all have different paths in life, but no matter where we go, we all take a little piece of each other with us. So initiate and invest in solid relationships every day. Number 10, plan for and model generosity daily. There is no exercise better for your heart than to reach down and lift somebody up. Give of yourself. Values. Embrace and practice good values daily. Walt Disney's younger brother Roy said this: "It's not hard to make good decisions when you know where your values are. You'll make good decisions." And the 12th one in our daily dozen is growth. Seek and experience improvements every day. We are products of our past. Do not be a prisoner of your past. Make a good decision in each one of these areas that we've talked about and follow it. It takes the emotion out of the decision, and it makes managing life a little easier. And most days, I would like to make my life just a tad easier. Mahatma Gandhi said, "Be the change that you want to see." Don't complain about everybody else. We're looking inside today. We're looking for the light of your star. Is it dim? Is it flickering? Or is it the brightest one in this room? Be the change you want to see in the world. Start small, but most importantly, you must start now. Right now. Don't wait till your head's laying on the pillow in the hospital room. Start now to say, I need to get a hold of this little piece of my life. What decisions have you already made? Did you examine yourself as we went through those 12 things? And what decisions did you start to think that you might want to make? What decisions do you know that you need to change so that I can get better outcomes? Choose one and do something about it this week. And dare I challenge you, do it now. Is it your attitude? Is it your family? Is it your values? Which one of the 12 of the daily dozen do you need to fix? Success is peace of mind, which is a direct result of self-satisfaction in knowing that you did your best to become the best that you were capable of being. We're going to look at the 12 again. Let's apply each one and ask ourselves, is my attitude a plus or a minus today? Are my priorities keeping me focused today? Is my health enabling me to succeed today? Does my family situation provide support for me today, and am I supporting them? Is my thinking mature and productive, and have my commitments been kept today? Have my financial decisions been solid today? Has my faith been active today? Are my relationships being strengthened today? Are my values giving me the direction that I need today? And is my growth making me better today? Take a look inside. Is that star starting to get just a tad brighter as you're making a commitment in your own heart or in your own mind that you're going to do something about one of these areas? Attitude. Why your attitude matters today. Your attitude is at the beginning of a task, affects its outcome more than anything else. We've all heard all's well that ends well. It's all well that begins well. I can guarantee you if I get out of bed grouchy, it's going to be a bad day, so let's begin it right. Okay? Your attitude toward others often determines their attitude toward you. You think, well, that person don't like me. Well, maybe you don't act like you like them. I have started to examine the fact that sometimes I think my husband and I don't have other couples we like to go out to dinner with and stuff. Well, it's probably because we're bad partners. I mean, we've started to look at this stuff. I'm bearing my soul to you guys here today. We started to look at these things. Hey, you know, why don't we have two? My daughter's got 8 couples. She can just call on a whim and off they go to do whatever. And I'm going, let's see, who would I call? Let me see. Your attitude toward others determines their attitude toward you. Your attitude can give you a winner's perspective, and your attitude, not your achievements, will give you happiness. And trust me, your attitude is contagious. Stay around to grouch for a while. That's why nobody wants to go to dinner with me. I'm getting it. See, I'm getting it, okay?
You said it, not me.
Why your attitude matters today. Take responsibility for your attitude. Decide to change your bad attitude areas. Think, act, talk, and conduct yourself like the person you want to become. Place a high value on other people. Remember that little MMFI, make me feel important? Place value on other people. And develop a high appreciation for life. Love life. You only got one. Every day I will make the adjustments necessary to keep my attitude right. I'm going to find someone or something positive in every situation. And I'm going to say something positive in every conversation. Remove negative words out of your vocabulary and express gratitude to others daily. Thank your monitors, thank your drivers, thank your kids, thank your parents. Second one in our daily dozen is priorities. Listen carefully to these, folks. Today's priorities will give me focus. Time is your most precious commodity. To know the value of a year, ask a student who failed that final exam, and they're going to have to repeat that grade. To know the value of a month, ask the mother of a premature baby. To know the value of a week, ask the editor of a weekly magazine. To know the value of a day, ask the wage earner who has 6 children. To know the value of an hour, ask the lovers who are waiting to get together. To know the value of a minute, ask the person who missed that plane. To know the value of a second, ask the person who survived an accident. And to know the value of a millisecond, ask that Olympic silver medalist. Today's priorities need to give you focus. We cannot change time, we can only change our priorities. We cannot do everything. Excuse me, men, I'm going to talk to the moms just a minute. Did you hear that one, moms? You can't do everything. Teach your kids to help with the chores. Teach your husband to pick up after himself. You can't do it all. I finally broke my husband from me bringing him his first cup of coffee in the morning. Whew! 22 years later, because I started spoiling him, bringing him his first cup of coffee in the morning. Finally, he's going to get his own first cup of coffee. I can't do everything. Can't do it all. We choose our life by how we spend it. Priorities help us choose wisely. Stay in your strength zone. Remember, urgent versus important. What is important today might be a movie date with your spouse or a soccer game for a grandchild. Doesn't mean that's urgent, but it sure is important. Choose your priorities very carefully. Today's health will give me strength. My health was the number 3 in the daily dozen. Your health impacts you emotionally, intellectually, and it will affect you spiritually. Health often determines quality as well as quantity of life. And that next one gets me good. It's easier to maintain good health than it is to regain it. It's much easier to stay healthy if you make that a priority than it is to try to regain it. And sometimes the biggest deterrent to our health is that we need to make sure we handle stress effectively. Family, number 4 in our daily dozen. Today's family gives me stability. You can't do much about your ancestors, but you have the influence on your descendants. Are you making the changes that are going to be necessary for your descendants? Make the decision to communicate with and care for your family every day. Start by turning off the TV during meals and communicate. Success means having those closest to me love and respect me the most, and put your family on your calendar first. Remember, it's important versus urgent. Create and maintain family traditions. Every single one of us could dig into the family coffers of our traditions, and we would pull up those things that when I was a kid, we used to go to grandma's and we did this, and when I was a kid, we used to go to grandma's and do that. What traditions are you setting up for your children and your family? Are you making sure they have something to talk to their children about? Traditions are important. And you know, when we went to see Grandma on Sunday afternoon, every Sunday on Sunday afternoon we went to see Grandma. We would go see Grandma, and one of my funniest stories to tell is that my grandpa, we'd go over to Walton and the little Dairy Delight was open, and my grandpa would start handing out quarters to all us kids. We was going to go to Dairy Delight and get an ice cream cone. Papa gave me a quarter. We'd get in the car, and my dad, who was a Baptist minister and a farmer and a very stiff-collared Southern Baptist, would say, "Give me them quarters. We don't shop on Sunday." We might go another day of the week. My dad was a generous man. But we didn't go on Sunday.
You still had to milk the cows.
Still had to go home and milk either way. That's right. We had to milk the cows. But just think about what kind of traditions you're setting up for your family. Are you doing something on a regular basis that's going to give your kids and grandkids something to talk about in the future? Take them to the zoo once a year. Don't cut it, folks. Do what's important, not just what's urgent. Number 5, the thinking part of the priorities for the daily dozen. Thinking can give me an advantage. Yes, it can. Good thinking precedes good results. Good thinking will increase my value. Poor thinkers are slaves to their surroundings. Think about that in a minute. If you're not thinking things through, you're just letting your surroundings engulf you, and you're doing what you're being forced to do because your surroundings. You're not thinking things through. I will think on things that will add value to myself and others. Every one of us have different things in that area. Understand that great thinking comes from good thinking. And to get great at something that you're already good at, you must practice it regularly. Therefore, I encourage you. Turn off the TV, put down your cell phone, find your quiet place. If you have to leave the TV on, engage the children in it so you can find a place to be alone and think. Think. Just think. The gentleman who presented this at conference said he felt real guilty about a week or two before that because his boss walked by and he was sitting at his desk, and he felt like his boss probably thought he wasn't doing anything, but he was thinking about what he needed to do next and where those priorities were and what was important versus what was urgent. Take time to think, not idle-mindedly. Good thinking precedes good results. Good thinking increases your values. Thinking keeps you from being a slave to your surroundings. Find your quiet place and think. Number 6, today's commitment gives me tenacity. Tenacity, patience, endurance, determination. Good thinking precedes good results. Good thinking increases your value. Poor thinkers are a slave to their surroundings, and understand that great thinking comes from good thinking. Click on through. Commitment can change your life. Commitment can help you overcome life's obstacles, and your commitment to anything will be tested on any given day. People forget how fast you did a good job. They forget that very quickly, how fast you did a good job. But they remember how well you did it. John Wooden, the UCLA basketball coach I referred to earlier, says this: if you don't have time to do a job right, when are you going to find the time to do it over? Do the job. Do it right the first time. Think it through. Set your priorities. Today's commitment gives me tenacity, and expect commitment to be a struggle. Commitment is a struggle. When those of us who are married committed to that, the love faded. Well, it's still there, but you know, commitment had to take over. We're going to make it through this. Doesn't matter what's happening. Don't rely on talent alone. You have work ethic. If you want something out of your day, you got to put something into it. You want to have a good job? You want to drive around in a nice bus? Keep it that way. Focus on choices, not conditions. You have choices. We all have choices. Yes, they are dictated sometimes by our supervisors. Yes, we have conditions under which we must function, but there are choices. Remember, we talked earlier about not being quite so hard-headed. There's a new way of doing things, and thank God Dwayne's on that computer and not me. Be single-minded and do what's right, even when you don't feel like it. Right is right, even when nobody else is doing it. And wrong is still wrong, even if everybody else is already doing it. Number 7 in our list was finances. Money won't make you happy. Debt will surely make you very unhappy. Having a financial margin gives you options. Put the value of things into perspective. A budget tells us what we can afford, but a budget cannot stop you from purchasing it. It will put you in debt, and it will make you unhappy. Today's faith gives me peace. Faith gives me a divine perspective today. Faith gives me health today. Faith gives me strength for my today. And faith makes me resilient today. Faith keeps the person who keeps the faith. That's Mother Teresa. And for those of you that I have had the opportunity and the privilege of training, I'm going to take off the Paula trainer badge and repeat something that I've said to anyone who ever rode my bus as a driver or as a monitor. I think pretty much everybody who comes through my bus, I take opportunity to say, taking off my trainer hat, and I want to talk to you from Paula. This is Paula talking. This isn't Kenton County. Do you understand that? Yes. I encourage you as bus drivers and monitors to find that place on your route that the horizon and the sunrise will take your breath away. Find it. You have been given a windshield that is the biggest piece of glass that offered around, and you're wasting it. I can guarantee you right now that when we round that corner and come off on old 16 now, whatever they call it, Old Taylor Mill, there's a section of Pride Park there where the sun, the horizon, the sky, the color, the gleaming lights, they didn't have to tell me to go 35 through there. I'm going 25. Because the time of morning I hit that spot right there, to my right is one of the most beautiful painted pictures that you can even imagine. Somewhere on your route, there's a spot that'll take your breath away at a given moment every morning. Find that spot and rejoice in it. Know that you've got that spot and you're coming to it, and there's going to be a light there. Even on the cloudiest of days, there's a light there because your faith is finding that light. Today's relationships give me fulfillment. Life's greatest experiences involve other people. You'll enjoy life more if you like people. And you'll get a lot farther if people like you. I'm learning. The rest of this will get you. When people don't like you, they will try to hurt you. And if they can't help you, if they can't hurt you, they surely won't help you. And if they have to help you, they will hope that you do not succeed. And when they won't help you succeed, your victory, even if you win, will seem very hollow. It'll have nothing in it. Today's relationships give me fulfillment. Relationships help us define who we are and what we can become. Most of us can trace our successes to pivotal relationships. Most of you know that I was widowed 24 years ago. And I loved that man, but it wasn't seen that he should stay with me. God took him. And I'm telling you what, wait a minute, I came prepared for this. All right. God found me my soulmate, and he blended our families together with 4 beautiful children and 11 wonderful grandchildren. That relationship pivoted me from where I was before. Your relationships, whether they're your family relationships or your business relationships, they are going to pivot you. And I will tell you that that Paula Nelson woman right there is Willie Nelson's daughter. Made that statement into a quote. And I'm thinking that's probably her significant other. I couldn't find much about him. People are any organization's most appreciable asset. I will initiate and make investments in relationships with others. I guarantee you that if you got a problem going on your bus, you got somebody you can talk to about it. The bus that parks right next to you that's a senior driver probably tell you, give you some advice about what you can do. Make and develop and keep those relationships. But I also encourage you to deal those back into your family and make sure that your relationships are strong and invest in those relationships. Place a high value on other people and try very hard to learn to understand other people. Today's relationships can give me fulfillment. People are insecure, so it's my responsibility to give them confidence. People want to feel special, so I want to sincerely compliment them on something. Everybody's got something they can be complimented on. Find it. Compliment people regularly. People desire a better tomorrow, so show them hope. People need to be understood, and in order to do that, we must listen to them. People are selfish, so we must speak to their needs first. People get very emotionally low, and we must be an encouragement to them. People want to be associated with success. Help them win, and we all win as a team. Today's relationships will give me fulfillment if I give respect freely but expect to earn it from others. Give respect freely and expect to earn it from everyone else. Commit yourself to adding value to other people's lives, both in your work and your home and your community. Today's generosity gives me significance. Giving will turn your focus outward. Giving adds value to others. Giving always helps the giver. Give others your money and give others yourself. Don't wait for prosperity to become generous. I guarantee you, people living under a bridge who find food share it. I guarantee you they do. I've seen it happen. I've seen it on TV. I've seen it in stories. I frequently work at a free store food bank, and there's a lady who comes through there, and she always says, well, so-and-so will like this and so-and-so will like that, because she takes it back to her neighborhood where the people are more disabled than she, and she gives it to them. So as this lady who comes every single time I'm there pushes through line, we always make sure she gets a little extra. And it's not for her. She's giving it away. Is she dressed nicely? Nope. She lives next door to the people she's giving it to. Her rent factor's the same as theirs. Don't wait for prosperity to become generous. You must give others your money, and you must give others yourself. Dig deep. Find that light. Find that star, and give them a little piece of that light. Today's values will give me direction. Today's values will be an anchor for you. They'll be a faithful friend for you. They will be your North Star. They will be your direction if you have values. Don't lay your head on the pillow at night and be ashamed of what you did today because you knew better. Think it through first. Methods are many, values are few. Methods always change, but values never do. Never compromise your values. And the 12th one in our daily dozen said, today's growth will give me potential. We think that growth is automatic. Children grow automatically. We're all past that stage. Growth is not automatic. Growth comes from information, and growth will come from experience. Surround yourself with good people. Read good books. Go to the right places and have the right friends, and your growth will come through your information network and your experiences. Today's growth will give me potential because gifting without growth is very ineffective. Growth prevents personal and professional stagnation. You must grow. Don't be hard-headed into what always was, because it's just not. Find growth in new things. I'm doing better on the computer. Find growth in new technology. Find growth in personal relationships. Your personal growth will impact your organization's growth. And only through continuous improvement can your potential be reached. So I hope, sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, I hope that somewhere deep down inside you, for those of you who at the beginning said, I don't have a star, or my star's dim, or my star's flickering, find your light. Find your light and make it shine brighter and brighter and brighter for yourself first. Get a hold of yourself first. Then extend it to your family, into your workplace, into your community, and there ain't no stopping us now. Thank you, guys.